Thanks, Paul. That was great. Welcome and happy Thanksgiving week to everyone. Obviously, rivalry week throughout the country, and like everybody, excited for that challenge. Looking back, players of the week offensively, Justin Jackson had another outstanding game. Big playmaker was Flynn Nagel. Defensively was Brett Walsh, and defensive big playmaker and special teams player for us for the week was Anthony Walker. Chad Hanaoka was our offensive practice player. Jake Saunders was our defensive practice player. And Jack Tremonia in the kicking game. Looking forward to this weekend. Very special honorary captain, Mary Beth Hawkinson, is going to be retiring after 30-plus years in our academic advising here in the athletic department. And I'm sure a bunch of my teammates will hear that news and drop her a note. Mary Beth's had a great run here. We're very thankful for all that she's done for all of our student athletes and football in particular. And so we'll have her be our honorary captain here for the game on Saturday. So with that, how about some questions, please?
Coach, Illinois, in-state rival trophy game. But the last few years, or the last decade, hasn't been a big draw at Ryan Field when they've come to town. Any idea why you haven't been able to get the fan base invested in this series?
I have no idea. I worry about what I can control. That's coaching the kids, and putting together a good plan and hopefully find a way to win a game. Couldn't answer you that one.
And for the team itself, does this game carry any extra weight?
Absolutely. I mean, this week does, I think, across college football. You get excited about playing your rival. We've got great respect for the University of Illinois. I've known Coach Smith for a long time and just have the utmost respect for him. I mean, he was great when he was at the Bears to myself and to our program. And, obviously first years are always challenging, but he's done a great job. His staff has done a great job. You see what they're putting in all three phases, and I think their young men are playing very hard. So, on us, yeah, absolutely. We got a ton to play for. Our guys will be excited for it. And, we got one trophy that we play for, and it's obviously playing for the land of Lincoln, and it's a big deal to us. So hopefully our guys will put together a great week of prep, handle the holiday very well, and then, focus up on the weekend and get ready to go play one of, hopefully our best game of the year.
Coach, I'm curious from an execution standpoint, why do you think you struggled on third and shorts and fourth and shorts against Minnesota?
For a lot of reasons. I'm not going to bore you with all of them. I know that's your question because we've got one more game. So, but there were just a number of reasons why, and worked hard to correct them this morning. Went out and did some different things from a standpoint of correcting them in practice this morning. So hopefully we'll be better at it.
You've said in the past that a lot of times when you struggle on third downs because you struggled on first and second down, but it didn't look so much like in that game like you were struggling on the early downs. It looked like you got into a lot of third and manageables. Does your play calling change in those situations, and is there any of those that maybe you wish you could have had back from a play calling standpoint?
No, I don't think so. No, it's like I said after the game. And it's not to discredit Minnesota, but some of the things that they did they had done against us in the past, and we had actually practiced, and we even talked about before. And one, we came out of a timeout and told them exactly what they were going to do, and then we don't go execute. So it's pretty frustrating, And no, I don't think so. I think you look at where we're at from an execution standpoint, and primarily up front. When we've done a pretty good job, we've won 5 games. When we haven't, we've lost 6. And it's not to put all the success or blame on one group, but it's pretty evident. I mean, you guys that have covered us all year, this isn't rocket science. That group plays well. We usually play pretty well. Offensively, that is. I thought our defense gave us a chance to win.
Coach Fitz, Justin Jackson had 8 catches, just north of 50 yards, and it's more than he's ever had all year long. Was that a byproduct of AC going down? Did you plan to get him into the offense, the pass game, a little bit more?
Yeah, just taking what the defense gave us. I think there was one. It was a pretty spectacular catch by him. I mean, Clayton kind of shoveled it to him right in his face as he was just turning around. made a nice grab there. But no, just taking what the defense gives us. And, obviously, like I said, I think a week ago I got asked a bunch about Johnny Moten and talking about, the maturation of Justin as being a complete back, not just a guy that's, really good with the ball in his hands. And, I think that was pretty evident again on Saturday for Justin.
Coach, I have to ask, do you have any update on Austin Carr's status?
Yeah, I think, I talked to him this morning at length. He felt pretty good. I'd probably list him as day-to-day, but I'll give you an official update on Thursday.
What do you think about the play of the receiver group overall? They seem to have some drops in the cold weather.
I think overall, I think the group was pretty darn solid. I think we could have obviously blocked better on the perimeter in some scenarios. I think there was a couple of plays that you wish they would have caught the ball. One, the one with Macon, he turned back around and he said the ball was right in the light, and before he could recognize it was hitting him in the face. A couple of the other ones, man, I think a little bit of a byproduct of the enhanced rules on targeting. Quarterbacks are willing to put some balls in there that back in my day you would have never thought about throwing. And those were some tough situations that I think some of our receivers got put in by the decision-making that we made at quarterback. Then there were some times that I thought we were open for explosive plays, and the guys had to make some spectacular, shoot top tackles. The balls were, not our best day, obviously, at wide receiver and or quarterback and or at O-line. So, when you have those types of things, your timing's a little off, your rhythm's a little off, your ball placement's a little off. That's what it looked like to me. I don't think it had anything to do with the cold. I think it had to do with the execution. But, I don't think they were real clean either, were they, at Minnesota? I think it was – maybe it had to do with the cold. I don't know. But just got to do your job. Got to catch the ball. You got to throw it. You got to protect. It's not real complicated.
Mentioned the targeting. Minnesota's had a lot of targeting calls against them this year. Was that something that you think the receivers were concerned about at all? Was that something they were thinking about specifically?
No. That never came up. Mm-mm. You're playing scared, man. You shouldn't play our game. So to answer your question specifically, you should play video games. They don't hit back.
Clayton had 7 sacks. Obviously, we've talked about how the O-line struggled, but was any of that on him as well?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, the timing and the rhythm, just didn't seem like it clicked. It did on a couple series, and we threw it and caught it well, but just wasn't clicking. Not a very good day. Some semblance of 7. Add them up. I'm not going to belabor each one. Moving on.
Looking ahead to this weekend, what are the main keys for you outside of the obvious, like the offensive line playing well? Any specific keys to this opponent to winning this game?
Yeah, well, we always, like everybody do, hours and hours of film study. You've got 1 year worth of evidence. We've never played each other, from a standpoint of their coaching staff and their team from a standpoint of the way that they're going about things schematically. So, just plan to adjust. At some point around the second quarter, we'll have a pretty good idea. They'll make their adjustments, and then we'll have to adjust again in the second half. But I'm just very thankful for our seniors. This is obviously a big week. Senior week is always huge. When you've got your last home game, just a terrific group of guys that we're very thankful for all that they've given to our program. We're very thankful for their families. And, it's a great motivator. You want to send your seniors out with a win on their senior day. And obviously a lot riding on it, when you play your rival, when you play for postseason play, all those things wrapped up in a senior day makes it a really special weekend. So should be exciting. Great challenge, but should be very exciting.
And then, Coach, how would you evaluate the play of the defense up front? Smith and Brooks had a couple big gains, but it looks like for the most part you guys played pretty well against, especially in the second half.
Yeah, I think the early in the big game was not on the D line; it was on the secondary. We adjusted the coverage incorrectly, and then we didn't fit it right. So that wasn't on those guys. I thought up front, they played pretty solid. I thought Mitch did a really good job of getting the ball out of his hands. We were really close, about 8 more times on some throws. with some pressure. So we just got to keep coming. But I thought that group was pretty solid. I thought those two backs were outstanding on tape, and I thought they lived up to the billing, live up there. I thought they're really, really good players. You guys good? All right. Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks a lot. Go Cats. What do you got? Yeah, come on, fire away. Let's go.
Has this team, you talked about this team's maturity last year.
Yeah.
Has this team matured at all?
I would say we're like our record is. Yeah, I mean, I would say that's who we are from a maturity standpoint. We're very inconsistent. There's every day is a new. Like I said, it's been a choose your own adventure book. I pretty much got a pretty good idea what I'm going to get on chapter 1 and chapter 2, and maybe even chapter 3, which are the first 3 days of the week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then come to the weekend, I kind of go to chapter 5 for a win, and I've gone to chapter 6 for a loss, so we just got to get our minds right. We got to get our attitude right. We got to go out and execute. It's going to be anytime you play your rival, you throw the records out. But no, Scott, I mean, you can see what are we starting 5, maybe 6 seniors. I think that group's given everything they've got. I think we've got some other guys that are older that are giving everything we got, and then I think our younger guys. It's been interesting. It's definitely been a little baptism under fire, so to speak. You've seen some flashes of what I think we're going to see in the future, and then you've seen obviously what we're going to have to do regardless of the outcome starting on Monday, a week from today. To get ourselves back to competing for championships, and that's what the goal is. And obviously we've failed at that, and that starts with us as coaches. But yeah, we got a long way to go. We got a long way to go. But the good news is a lot of those guys have got on-field experience. It doesn't make it any better for our seniors. It doesn't make it any better for our program. It doesn't make it any better for our fans. But sometimes that's what you have when you deal with what we've dealt with. And so. Amen, brother. Amen.
Fitz is a little off the wall, but
no, now you guys are firing away. You guys just wake up or what? Here we go.
When they were building Ryan Field was then Dyke Stadium in the 20s, or the original plans for it to be three like decks all around, seating 80,000.
Yeah.
How do you think that a stadium like that would have changed sort of the perception of Northwestern football over the past 90 years?
Wow, I mean that is the deepest. Wow, wow, I have no idea. Yeah, I have no idea. I can't answer that. I think we got a pretty cool stadium right now. I think it's a neat venue. I think it's got charm. It's got a uniqueness to it. But from a standpoint of that deep thought, I don't know if I can give you a deep answer. I'm sorry.
Coach, regarding Cam Cairo's retirement, he announced that on Facebook yesterday.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Does he talk to you about that at all?
Yeah.
And what was that process like? And then maybe what has he meant to the program?
Yeah, well, what he's meant to the program is he's just an outstanding young man. He's from a great family. It's pretty cool anytime you can say you've had the privilege to play high school, let alone college football with your brother, and to have that happen. I'd rather let him speak for that. But I've had the great privilege to coach a number of brother combinations, and when they've played together, it's been awesome. I mean, it's been really cool, especially coming from a guy that didn't have any brothers. To see how that experience is shared is really cool, and it's really special for the family. Our conversations, I'd prefer to keep private. I'd rather let him speak, but it's hard. I mean, anytime you get something that you love taken away from you, it's really a challenge. It's really difficult. But like I tell every recruit that I visit with, and then unfortunately I've had to do it with guys that I've had the privilege while they're here. And then when they wrap up their careers, when football is completely over, the only promise and guarantee I have for every guy with football is it's going to end. I just don't know when. And that's why you choose a school like Northwestern that, no matter what happens with the game, you're always going to be prepared for the next 40 or 50 years of your life if you maximize the academic experience. You leverage our great alumni. You leverage the great city of Chicago for professional development. And you leverage all the resources that we have. And, Cam's going to take full advantage of that. Not that he hasn't been, but, he's going to have a little bit more time to be able to do that now. So, my heart breaks anytime a guy gets hurt. It just breaks my heart. I've lived through it. I understand what they're going through mentally. It's tougher mentally than it is physically. The physical aspect gets better. The mental aspect is the hardest. But I'm just very thankful for him. I'm very thankful for all those guys that have given for the program, given to the university. It's not easy, and to see that type of sacrifice and dedication, we're very thankful, and I'm very thankful for him. All right. Happy Thanksgiving.
Can you guys just talk about the extra significance of being one game away from a bowl going into the last game of the season?
Yeah, it's win or go home, and it's against our rival, so we got to show up, ready to play, ready to defend our home field, and that's pretty much what it comes down to.
Yeah, like Justin said, it's a one-game playoff. We win, we get another month together. We lose, season's over. So, every game's important, but there's definitely a little significance to the fact that it's a win or go home situation, and it's against our in-state rival.
Does the trophy give the game any extra meaning, or not so much?
You definitely want to beat your in-state rival. There's always a little something to that, but the most important thing for us is getting bowl eligible, getting another month together, in my opinion.
Eric, Clayton got sacked a few times on Saturday. How would you evaluate the offensive line's performance, and maybe if it wasn't a great one, what can you do to improve it going into next week?
Yeah, I don't think anybody was really happy with the way we played up front on Saturday. Nobody played particularly well. We had some breakdowns as far as execution goes, as far as physical breakdowns go, a lot of one-man breakdowns. And, moving forward, we got to do a better job being on the same page. I know they threw a lot of different looks at us last week, and we got to do a better job of communicating so everybody knows what everybody else is doing. We weren't as good as we should have been at that last week. So that moving forward, then obviously physically we got to just keep focusing on fundamentals throughout practice. And as the year goes on, sometimes you lose that a little bit just because you think about that a lot in camp. You really think about your fundamentals, and as the year goes on, maybe you lose it a little bit. So refocusing on that and getting on the same page as far as execution goes.
Eric, when the offensive line has played well, what has been the difference for you guys?
If I had the perfect answer for that, then we'd play well in every game. But I think when just when five guys are on the same page, playing hard, playing together, straining to finish blocks, like I said, being on the same page, going, knowing where we need to be going, and we're playing hard. We got this guy running behind us. We know he's going to make us right when we do the right things. So, like I said, if I had an answer, then you wouldn't be asking me that question. Something that's hard to put your finger on, but it's just bringing it, straining into finish blocks, and being on the same page.
Do you think there are any specific games or weeks this year that you really put it all together?
I think definitely the games we've won are the games our offensive line has played better. It's pretty hard to be a successful offense when your offensive line is not playing well. If your offensive line is not playing well, nothing can really work. You can't really work in spite of your offensive line. The offensive line can play good and things can, there can be incompletions or whatever, but if your offensive line isn't playing well, you can't really do much. So I'd say, yeah, there's definitely been games where we've put it all together to an extent.
Justin, looking back on the Illinois game last year, you had 37 carries, which was a career high. What were your thoughts looking back on that game?
Last year, obviously, we were much heavier run-oriented. We have a lot, a better pass game this year. So, do I expect the same thing? I don't know. I'm just going to go out there and play. But, they know what we're going to do, and we know what they're going to do. So, it's just going to come down to who does it better. And we're going to have to be that team on Saturday if we want to, keep our season moving forward.
Justin, you were able to still get a decent amount of yards against Minnesota, especially in the receiving game as well. But they limited the big plays. What was your experience like going up against that defense, and what did they do well, maybe?
They're a good defense. They fly around a lot. They had a lot of really physical guys, some speed guys. I'm sorry. What was the question again?
Just what was the experience like going against them? What did they do well?
Yeah, I guess yeah. I mean, they were quick. They threw a lot of different looks, like Eric said. But I think we didn't execute the way we wanted to. I think we left some plays out there. So I mean, defense in the Big Ten is going to be a good defense with real good players. So it's just about how you go out there and execute against that. And we didn't do that exactly how we wanted to, and that's probably why we didn't have as many big plays as we could have.
Just to add to that, I think that they did a really good job of buckling down in key situations. Like we were able to get the ball across the 50 multiple times. Some those 4th and 1s, getting the ball in the red zone and not coming away with points. Even when we were able to be moving the ball, but then not coming away with points, I think they did a really good job of winning on key downs and buckling down when they needed to.
I guess for both of you, why do you think from an execution standpoint, why do you think you struggled on 3rd and shorts and 4th and shorts?
I don't have an exact answer for that. I'd say, each play is its own play, and there was something that happened on each play that was different. It wasn't, there's not a blanket answer to that. I know, sometimes on 3rd and short type deals when we're running the ball, the box gets really filled, and sometimes there's an issue with who we're going to, who we're targeting as an offensive line. So sometimes that can be an issue, and I think that was an issue on one of the particular 3rd down runs. Or 4th down runs. So I don't have a blanket answer, but it's kind of, play-by-play basis whether or not, we execute.
Then Justin, career high 8 catches. I think it's career high. Definitely a season high. How do you adjust when you're asked to catch the ball out of the backfield more? And is that something that you've worked on throughout your career?
Yeah, especially solo moving a receiver this past year. I knew that I had to do that a little bit more because he took a lot of those reps last year. So, yeah, just trying to be available, whether it's check down or in the slot. Trying to improve that in the offseason. Still got a ways to go, but yeah, just trying to be available for Clayton if there's nothing else there for him.
Guys, Illinois, pretty good running the ball. Average 5 yards of carry. They've run for 1,700 yards this year. What is the mindset of the team when you guys face a team that runs the ball out?
Well, for me, I get real excited. Compared to Purdue, who was passing 70% of the time, that took me out of the game a lot. Like, he might have had a good game, but I don't get much stats when that happens, So when they run the ball, I know that I can get it on the play, make something happen, force a turnover. So I get excited when I hear that a team runs a lot.
Yeah, big guys up front have done a great job all year with the run, so I know they get excited. I get a little excited too. My man Laney some reps. In terms of secondary, we just got to make sure we clean up for these guys, but I like to hear that.
Can you guys also talk a little bit about the mindset of the team going into this sort of a one-game playoff and try to get into the ball with 1 game left in the season?
We just got to play like dogs, with our backs against the wall. I think that's when we come out, show who we really are. And so, this is a big game. This is our championship, and you got to win it. And that's our mindset.
Yeah, I agree. Win or go home. It's a challenge. I think we're ready for the occasion. No other options, obviously.
Does it make it a little bit extra special that's against Illinois?
Game's a game. Illinois is a rival team, so we're going to play hard. But, this is, especially this week, this is a huge week. But I think more so because our backs are against the wall, and we got to get this W.
Tyler, how would you evaluate the run defense and the guys up front's performance against Minnesota's rushing game on Saturday?
Watching the film, I've especially enjoyed watching Jordan Thompson. He was killing up front. You could hear him on the sidelines screaming how juicy he was. Even the backups like Fred Wyatt, Alex Miller, the inside guys I was really pleased with, as well as the outside guys. We got we got a little dog in us, up front, and it makes us proud that we were able to stop the run.
And then Godwin, I guess, what was how would you evaluate the secondary's play against Leidner? There was the one deep ball, but other than that, it seems like you guys limited him.
Yeah, I mean, I think we prepared well throughout the season, especially coming in to this week. Like you said, the deep ball, my man Shep, won on that. Very proud of him. I think we played pretty well. Always some things you can clean up, but I mean, like you said, the rushing attack was their main focus, and the big mans, the monsters, the dogs up front held it down. I think their longest run was my fault, really. I made a bad call. They got up through a little bit. So, I mean, other than that, I think we played pretty well as a secondary, and we expect to continue to do so going into this next week.
Godwin, 2 years ago, you ended this Illinois game with the same situation at 5-6 and lost and didn't get to go to a bowl game. Is that experience sort of providing motivation, extra motivation, and context to this year being the same situation, trying to reverse your fate?
I think we've thought about it a little bit. That was obviously a tragic situation. We had a lot of guys banged up, a lot of guys injured. Definitely, this is a completely different team. So, we're going to attack it, like Laney said, like our backs are against the wall, because that is the reality of the situation, given everything we have. But, I have full trust in my teammates that, they're going to give everything we had. I think we lacked some passion even in that game, on top of people being banged up. But I don't expect that to happen this time around.
Godwin, you just said you lacked some passion that time. How are you guys going to get excited for this one?
Well, I mean, it'd be hard. I mean, if you're not excited for this game, you might as well just go home right now. I mean, you have a challenge in front of you where either you stay in a couple weeks at home with nothing to do. I know I ain't got nothing to do at home. I got family, but, my friends are gone. I'm going to be lonely. So I had to go out, and we got to go out and get this dub. That's what we all want to do. We all want to stay here. We all want to, extend this season, for our seniors, more opportunities to play with each other, more memories to be made. So, there's no doubt that we're going to go out there with passion, to say the least.
Guys, for both of you, on that final drive where I think they maybe went 80 yards in 11 plays, just south of 7 minutes. Tell us a little bit about that drive and that maybe the difficulty of not getting off the field, and was there any key areas in that drive you wish you had back?
You got this one first. Well, it's tough. It's obviously tough as a competitor. Knowing the situation, knowing I have an opportunity to win the game. We made some vital mistakes, that we all got to be held accountable for. When it comes to crunch time like that, you can't make those mistakes. So, it hurts. It's tough. Especially expecting the most, out of your defense. We played pretty well up to that point. Had some breakdowns then, and it's going to make some great plays. So you got to give them some credit as well. Critique it, see what we did wrong, and make sure it doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, we knew we had to make a play to stop that drive in order to give us a chance to win. It gets frustrating, first down after first down, especially when you can't get a ball out. That's your main goal. That's your objective, is to get the offense the ball again, get it rolling again. So when you can't get off the field as easily, it gets frustrating, but you got to get past that.